his team too.
Second and short, Bombers show blitz, and they're going to drop. Wait for a loss. Westerman with the tackle, but they're going to call a trip, I believe, as the flag flies.
Here's what happens when you face a great running back.
Winnipeg number 55. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Here's what happens when you face a great running back and he makes a move on you in the backfield. Going to that inside cut. Westerman leads to his left in the inside cut, realizes he's going to get beat on the spin move and kicks his legs out to trip John White. Good call by the official.
Well, the 10-yard penalty moves it down just outside the 20. Edmonton first down. Short drop, stands in, throws low, and Darrell Walker has the catch in front of an old college teammate and his training partner, Terrence Frederick.
Little curl route for Walker, over 1,200 yards receiving for him as well, and had 200-yard games against this Bomber defense they faced earlier in the season.
In one game, Bowman and Walker combined for 302 yards against the Bomber defense.
They're a different D now than they were then.
Second and 4. Riley wide open, Silstra underneath. He's got a first down and dropped at the 3-yard line. First and goal, Edmonton.
Different D now, Chris, but a great response to the touchdown throw to Weston Dressler by Matt Nichols by Mike Riley. Right down the field, featuring a Darius Bowman. But then when they roll the defense to take away Walker and Bowman, they go to Zylstra.
Drive started on the Edmonton 21. This the 12th play. Trying to punch it in. John White, touchdown. White back in the lineup and looking like the power back that we have seen in the past.
And what an answer. What a response on the road for the Eskimos.
Drives his way in for his 4th rushing touchdown. 5th overall.
That was a 12-play drive, Chris. It almost went 90 yards. I mean, 89 yards, 12 plays. There's the answer to Matt Nichols' touchdown throw.
Spotted BC 14 points early last week. Answer that Dressler touchdown here. And Sean White puts the extra point through. The game is tied, and featured in the 12-play drive was a Darius Bowman with 3 clutch catches to move the chains.
This football season, we're going to play $1 Million Touchdown to Win. With every touchdown scored, we could win a Bulova Men's Chronograph watch, a Hoover Air Revolve vacuum, or a Lagostina 11-piece cookware set. We could also win a trip for 2 to Mexico, courtesy of redtag.ca. Swipe your Air Miles collector card in Western Canada today to enter $1 Million Touchdown to Win. Shop and play at Safeway and Sobeys.
As a member of the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council, this Bell Media channel is committed to the highest standards of broadcasting and adheres to the codes of conduct of the Canadian Association of Broadcasters. If you have a concern about something viewed on our service, write to the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council, P.O. Box 3265, Station D, Ottawa, Ontario, K1P6H8, or email complaints@cbsc.ca.
Darius Bowman with a chance to make CFL history this year as he tries to chase the Alan Pitts record with more. Here's Sarah Orleski.
Well, Chris, I asked Darius about all of this talk about trying to get to 2,000 yards. He says he's never heard really much about it until this week. Now it's all anyone wants to talk about. It'd be pretty great company for him if he was able to get the mark. One of those that has eclipsed the 2,000 mark, Mookie Mitchell, who was a coach of Darius Bowman's back in 2012 and was an Eskimos great. He said that said at the time, Mitchell used to refer to himself as Mr. 2000, and Bowman didn't understand why. He said it would be such a great honor to be in that company. Part of the reason for his success, he says he loves playing with Darrell Walker, loves this group, but he feels that Jason Moss has really put him in a great position this year to have success.
And as Milt mentioned, if he can average 120 for the rest of the season, he can get there. Not sure what happened there.
Hey, the
I
ball
don't think
just
we've
moved,
ever seen that. Grant Shaw's got to reload.
Well, in the moment we say that,
Somebody will find
someone will find it on Twitter that we have seen it before.
Get well. Love you, Louie.
Grant reenacting many of my finer moments on the golf team. Here's the mulligan. TJ Heath on the return, but that's covered well. Mike Miller, who has been on fire in special teams, has his 23rd. That leads the league. He had 4 last week, 19 in his last 7 coming into tonight. And boy, he keeps piling up the special team tackles.
Yeah, he's going to get to the starting lineup at some point because that's how you do it. Heart and soul, just can you get down the field, get down there, and when you arrive in a bad mood and bring down the ball carrier. Best in the business at it this year.
So the Bombers start at their 24, handed off inside. Timothy Flanders, J.C. Sherritt is there, and that should be tackle number 400 of his career. Unbelievably, Sherritt without a stat last week defensively. I had to recheck that. I don't know if that's happened for him before.
Yeah, he got right back there in the middle of that defense. Defense up front led by Odell Willis and Mondo Sewell inside. There's the 2, Eddie Steele and Sewell, that are tough to handle. There's your linebacking core.
Pass for Dressler, skipped short of the intended target.
Patrick Watkins, the leader in the secondary. And that defense that we just introduced you to just generated a 2 and out. Winnipeg will have to kick it.
So each team with a 2 and out on the night. The Bombers offense, the fewest 2 and outs in the league this season. So now the Eskimos should get good field position as Medlock gets set to punt. Doe awaits at his 40-yard line. Eskimos haven't had a punt return over 14 yards in their last 5 games. 42-yard punt. That's a return of around 10 for Kenzel Doe. Good field position. Edmonton will start around their 51.
He's been such a great player for Winnipeg over the last 3 years. I mean, was their nominee for Outstanding Defensive Player a couple of years ago, but Maurice Leggett this year is getting those big numbers, and the big numbers get you in the newspaper. Interceptions, leads the league with 6, and also has taken 3 back to the house. I mean, 216 yards of basically offense off those picks from Mo Leggett.
And off to White with a flag down, and White stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Westerman on the scene.
29-year-old out of Valdosta State, and you know, I've liked Maurice Leggett since watching him when he arrived here in Winnipeg, and he's getting the press he deserves.
One of those defenders that's a former quarterback in.
Offside. Winnipeg number 35. Penalties declined. Legal block, hands to the face. Winnipeg number 43. It's a 10-yard penalty and a first down.
So Corney, the illegal hands to the face. Trent Corney, the rookie, and Terrence Frederick also called. So the Eskimos move into Bomber territory with a first down at the Winnipeg 49.
Old Mo is an Edmonton Eskimo right now.
Change back after the big play to
Yes, it
Dressler.
has. Yes, it has.
First down. Here's White. Got some blocking. Cuts it back. And a first down for John White. Wrapped around the 33-yard line.
That's great game planning and play calling from Jason Moss, Edmonton Eskimo head coach. He recognizes the way the Bombers are playing defensively and is swinging John White outside and getting outside of that strong defense. Not forcing it over the middle, swinging it out and getting to the perimeter.
16 for White, who had 8 catches, 89 yards in one game against Winnipeg. This time they fake it, and then it's back in the hands of White. And look at him spin off first contact and get close to another first down. John White looks energized here, coming back off an injury a few weeks ago. Well, wincing a bit as he shrugs that left shoulder, but a good first quarter for John White. Looks like we're in for that playoff style game we were anticipating. Good first quarter, a big play by the Bombers to Weston Dressler, a sustained drive by the Eskimos in response.
12 plays, 89 yards, a third of the passing yards to Darius Bowman so far. We've seen one, I believe, to Darrell Walker, but I like what Bowman said in his clip when he said they have to be precise, and so far Mike Riley has been just that.
Certainly they didn't take any shots down the field, and perhaps more importantly for Edmonton's sake, no turnovers.
No turnovers, exactly, and they're protecting the football right now. The Bombers give up passing yards, but then they turn it over, and that's how they have won games, and that's been their formula for success. Mike Riley can avoid that to see if the Bombers can just keep pace offensively with the Edmonton Eskimos. They've been feeding off those turnovers in a big way for the last 8 games.
So tied as we start the second quarter, but the Eskimos threatening, and a second down quarterback sneak behind Sorensen and Matt O'Donnell for an Edmonton first down.
You know, you mentioned John White just before the break there, Chris, and I you know, maybe Wally Buono's onto something here with Anthony Allen, Jeremiah Johnson having 2 real good backs that they alternate. Now, I know for Jason Moss it's been due to injury. John White got hurt, and then Shakir Bell came in. He played very well. He's been nicked. Now it's John White's turn. But if they can keep him fresh, even if they're both healthy, they might keep with this rotation.
And Timothy Flanders for Winnipeg has looked fresh coming in for the injured Andrew Harris. White stumbled and lost the football, but Edmonton gets back on it, and a near mistake. That one vacuumed up by Matt O'Donnell, the right guard. Bale is running back out.
I think Khalil Bass punched this ball out of there before White was down by contact. So John White can go right back in the huddle and thank his big offensive lineman. Yeah, that was a fumble. Almost created that turnover, yeah.
24 takeaways on the year. Second down, Riley hit, wants Bowman into the air, and he can't bring it down against Chris Randall in coverage.
Good play by Chris Randall at the top end of the route here, but Riley has trouble with the shotgun snap to start this play out, so he takes his eyes off of the coverage, and then he has to go back and locate his receiver. I think that ball came out a little bit late for Riley's liking, but take nothing away from Chris Randall, who makes the play to knock it out of his hands.
Shaun White comes on. 91.9%, 32 of 32 from inside the 40. And this from 28 out is good. And the Eskimos have scored 10 straight and have the lead. Matt Nichols and the Bombers with the football when we return. Halftime, the GMC Precision Playbook. And tonight, Glenn Suter talks about avoiding pass interference.
I'd like to have done it more in my playing days. It's been a topic of discussion over the last couple of years. Pass interference, offensive and defense. You can now challenge both.
You're probably glad there was no challenging of that back then. Back in the old days. Shot to kick it off. And the former Argo, TJ Heath, on the return. Out beyond the 30-yard line, gets stacked up there. Dion Lacey is embroiled in something. They get separated quickly, and Matt Nichols gets set to go back to work. 9th consecutive start and a record of 7-1.
Well, what a good football game against Calgary last week. Stampeders finding a way in the last 20 seconds of that game after Matt Nichols had led the Bombers to the lead late, deep into the fourth quarter.
Just 88 passing yards in the first half of that game. He has 86 already in this game. Flanders runs through the arm tackle of Almondo Sewell for an extra yard or two, and Winnipeg native Ora Macion makes the tackle.
Nice fat average for Timothy Flanders at 6.6 yards per carry since taking over for Andrew Harris in 2 games, almost 200 yards. Good balance in that offense.
Over 100 as a team in the last 2 games for Winnipeg. The run game seems to be getting back into vogue. I'm not going to get carried away, but
making a comeback.
Here's a cross from Clarence Denmark. The flag flies as Denmark's brought down at the 39-yard line. Nichols looks like he was roughed on the play, and Tim Croker will sort it
Major
out.
foul, roughing the passer. Edmonton number 41. 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down.
Good quick call on the penalty. Let's take a look at Odell Willis here and see if he gets the late hit call here. Odell Willis, number 41, right there in the 3-point stance. And he's coming all the way around the horn. And a hit to the head. Matt Nichols.
8th roughing the passer penalty against Edmonton. That is now the most in the league this season by one team. First down near midfield. Pocket collapsing. Nichols escapes. J.C. Sherritt moves up. And that throw, did it get there? No, incomplete. Tough throw against the grain. Flanders was open, but it did hit the ground, incomplete.
Well, tough throw to make and equally tough catch at the other end for not even a receiver. Timothy Flanders here starts in the backfield. He's going to try and chip, and then he releases in his route, but with Nichols rolling to his left, he's got to get his shoulder around, try and throw it back into the middle on the back shoulder. Good effort by Flanders, but it did hit the ground. You saw it right there.
Good to see Marcus Howard back in the Edmonton lineup. He had the initial pressure. There's a dart complete. And a Winnipeg first down. It's made by Denmark.
Boy, the confidence in Matt Nichols on some of these throws. The one to Weston Dressler for the touchdown, and that one to Clarence Denmark on this dig route from that wide, or the short side of the field, but the wide receiver, number 89, he just drills it to him.
So the Bombers in business at the Eskimo 37, first down. Rush forward, pass to the wide side, and Ryan Smith makes the catch. Right at the first down stick.
2 of our former teammates, Chris, going head-to-head here tonight. Offensive coordinator Paul LaPolice for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and was the guy who was in charge of that precision playbook.
Is it the Lapo Benny Bowl or the Benny Lapo Bowl? Here's Nichols down the rail. And too far for Ryan Smith by a stride or two.
Oh, a late call by Odell Willis here. And Benavides is going to want to know what happened because it was well after the play. And you could see Mike Benavides, that defense coordinator.
Edmonton number 41. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Willis said something to the official. He came on the rush. He didn't hit Matt Nichols, but turned to the official and said something, kind of threw his hands up, and then the flag came out real late. Watch, he turns to the official and he says, why throw the flag there, or something like that. It looked like he was gesturing as if he should throw a flag.
Clearly upset about the first call.
Yeah.
And draws the second. The former mayor here in some trouble in this second quarter, and this drive continues for the Bombers.
Boy, and it's getting physical too now. Ryan Smith out there is going toe-to-toe with Patrick Watkins. They were swinging a little bit and getting pushing and shoving, coming back, a little bump and run on the outside, and all of a sudden it has that playoff. Let's go, guys. Let's compete out here.
That's 5-7 against 6-5. Second down. Nichols stands in. Dressler again. Dropped the football. Loose, and the Eskimos are on it. Dion Lacey ends up with a football at the Edmonton 2.
And his partner, J.C. Sherritt, punched it out. That was a catch and run by Dressler. Forced fumble by Sherritt.
Well, we talked about Winnipeg's penchant for the takeaway. That's a big turnover and recovery by the...
Take a look again. Weston Dressler clearly has control. Turns up the field, has the ball under his arm when it's stripped by J.C. Sherritt, and Dion Lacey pounces on it.
Fourth fumble of the season for J.C. Sherritt. Only bad news for Edmonton, they have to start at their 2. Little play action fake, and they go to the fullback. You mentioned a guy who has earned a chance to start here a bit for the Eskimos. Mike Miller in, replacing the injured Calvin McCarty at the fullback spot.
That's how it works. You just play your guts out on the teams, and good coaching staff will give you some shots on offense or defense. And gave him a little breathing room on that little throw to the flat.
Now Mike Riley's got to deal with the big house here at Investors Group Field. From the end zone in trouble, and reaches out to avoid the safety, which they may give up on the very next play.
Yeah, you'd think so. They're going to be back 14 yards in the end zone. You either give up 2 and get field position back, or you're looking at giving up 3 just without even a first down by the Bombers. But he has to struggle just to get out there. Delayed blitz from Ian Wild.
Second sack of the season for Wild. Kevin Fogg awaits in case there is a punt. He's standing in Edmonton territory. And they are going to kick it. Tumbling punt that bounces at the 35. Fogg at the Edmonton 40. And Fogg gets outside. Lacey slows him up down the sidelines. Touchdown. But there is a penalty that likely will negate the 4th kick return touchdown of the year by Fogg. That's been called back.
Decision to kick it was an interesting one in and of itself. And Jason Moss may have been bailed out by this penalty.
During the return, illegal block. Winnipeg number 34. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's first down.
Jesse breaks the illegal block, and again, that's 4 times this year. Fogg has returned a kick for a touchdown, only to look back and see a flag on the field.
This is the best deal in town. 10 nuggets for $1.99.
You can't get anything, let alone 10 of anything for $1.99.
It's the best.
Right?
Burger King is serving up 10 nuggets for $1.99. 10 nuggets, just $1.99. Only at Burger King.
When Kevin Jorgensen needs light, he trusts Duracell Quantum because it lasts longer.